Hey, hello people. So let's talk about winter pre-attraction. Okay. Yeah. So technically some of you already start your attraction, which is good. Yeah. So let's have a look on your timeline. Okay. So now you're having your project RE, and then some of you are in week one already, and then starting your sales delivery lah, and then I think you also know you need to have your partnership closing in September, and then at the same time, right? So if you wait until you finish your partnership closing, then you start your market research, all those, right? Then I can tell you it's too late already. Yeah, because your next project is at what? At January, and then closing sales need a minimum 2 months, and normally it's like 3 to 4 months like that. Yeah, to especially for big companies like that. Yeah, so that's why it's also suggested to contact SME. But anyways, coming back, yeah. So here, actually, our market research, all those pre-attractions should start now already. In fact, actually, we are a little bit delayed lah. Yeah, I should have delivered this last week actually. Yeah, and then now your attraction is also going on at the same time lah. Yeah, and then also defining your sales strategy, and then okay. To be honest, I actually copy paste this lah. Yeah, but technically your lead generation should happen here already. Okay, yeah, and then your attraction, consideration, preparation, and then not projecting your sales one coming in by here. Yeah, and then your experience. And then at the same time, if you look into company timeline, right, normally is around this time, November, December, is the time that they already finished using their funds are exhausted. So it's either they are resetting their new budget, which if you approach around December, maybe would have hope because starting their own new term. Yeah. Or it's like they exhaust their funds, then they cannot give you any funds. And by October to really reach out to them is too late already. So that's why your sales really need to start early. Yeah. So speaking of pre-attraction, right, which is technically your preparation for your attraction. Yeah. So pre-attraction is already here. So what should I do? Yeah. So I would say before we explore into what we need to do next, right, it's very important to visit back our past. Okay. So now we are at present. So let's visit our past. Yeah. So speaking of this, right, let's have a working space. Okay. Yeah. So here are some burning questions that you can think about. Okay. Yeah. So first thing is like, what did you do to actually or use that help you run your sales better? So maybe you think you are doing your BAU, right? But maybe your BAU is something that, how to say, is something that is actually very essential in the process that you don't know. So I use my OGV as an example. Is previously when I was in TU physical days, I thought my booth is like very normal, and then I thought it's normal only. But then when I compare to other LCs, then also MC give feedback, then I know, hey, wait, our booth is actually very good. Yeah, but that was the back then physical days. So that's why I also want to have this group for you guys to discuss, to talk about what you guys have done. Then you guys can learn from each other. And then moving on is also, thankfully, this is what we know EBI. Yeah. So also reflecting back on what was your challenges in doing sales and attraction in summer. And then at the same time, what did you miss out last peak that can make your attraction better like that? Like you felt like, oh, maybe I should have done this synergy better, but I didn't do, or it's too late already. So it made me inflexible or something like that. Yeah, so this is something that you can think into, even including your goal setting, all those also. Yeah. And just one thing to take note, right, is your challenges here. Focus more on things that you can change instead of things you cannot change, which means FMCO is a very real challenge for everyone. But FMCO is not something you can change. Yeah. So I think now I'll break everyone into groups. So we have 14 people. Let me see. Let me break the groups first. And recreate. I think I'll still keep you guys at 4 groups, so 3 to 4 groups per person. Okay, so I recreated it already. So now we'll have the working space, but don't chit chat your speed dating share. Okay. So but before I break you guys into groups, right, is there anything you guys want to ask first? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you guys are so smart, and then you guys already done your pre-attraction and your attraction once already. Yeah, so that's why I'm confident to straight away break you guys also. So I'll open the rooms now.
Hello, Eugene.
But,
Can you?
yeah, yeah. So your
Okay.
other car wants no context. Okay.
All right. So basically, so for the first column, right? We think that constant follow up for the email, and also we should also diversify our platform such as LinkedIn instead of just using the email to contact our partners and also follow up with our partners. And then the second one is to consistent showcasing of our project in LinkedIn or other platforms to let people know that our project has this much of an impact on the local community. And then also start to really look into the content of the proposal. Maybe it's the content of the proposal that makes the partner not interested. Yeah, maybe we can modify a bit of the proposal. Yeah, and then for our challenges, yeah, so the first one is on the alignment with our project and partners. So basically some partners, they want, like for example, Speak Up project, because we are primarily targeting secondary school students, but some they want to target primary school students instead. So yeah, that's the misalignment for the project direction. And then the second one is the project growth path to visualize our plan. So some partners, they want to see like how can your project grow over the years, like how can your project be better and better and then impact more and more people. Yeah, some partners, they want to see that. And then third one is, yeah, basically it's what is set up. Yeah, do not show the pricing in the first proposal. Like should include it after the customized proposal, after getting the sensing, because sometimes if we include it in the first proposal, the company see it and then they say, wow, they need so much money, then they'll be scared and then they will not contact you again. Yeah, and then for the fourth one is to inconsistent follow up with contacted partners. Basically it's how to say, when you follow up one time and then you forget that you have this partner and then you forget to follow up. Yeah, so that's basically very bad thing. And then close to no synergy with my IGV on deliverables to partner, or how to innovate our project according to what the partner needs. And then through relying on one platform, like usually I use Google to search for the companies, but instead I can also use LinkedIn to help make my job easier. And then also impact made, like sometimes the partners, they want like bigger impact instead of us, like usually we target around like 20 to 30 students, right? But some they want like 50 to 100 students. Yeah, only then they will come into our project. But we know that our manpower is not enough. So yeah, these are the problems. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chun Hua. Okay, any more group want to share and add on? Yeah, if already mentioned by Chun Hua, then no need to repeat. Unless you're telling me like your, oh, okay, you go.
I think I can share a bit. Yeah. For those that's mentioned by Chunhua, I will mention again. So I think in my group, one common thing we found is that raising a partner actually helps you to secure your attraction better, because they understand how your project works and then they know what's the capability that your project can deliver. So usually like what in the team we share, usually one meeting would pretty much secure them already. Yeah. And then also approaching the right PIC is also very important, because when you want to follow up, right, you want to make sure you follow to the right person, those that can respond to you. So that was one thing. And then yeah, I think someone also mentioned about customize. I think it was me. Customizing the deliverables based on company context. Like instead of putting a fixed amount of like a package ABCD, you make it a fixed price and then you just plug in basically what suits the company. Yeah. And then for the challenges that I think generally all of us face, I think some are pretty common here. Personally, for me, that was one. Yeah. So, okay, before that, let me just go to one that did not do company profile targeting. Yeah, which leads to a lot of unresponsive lead because just focusing on finding. Yeah. And then another thing is also like unclear project direction and growth path. This is more personally to me because I wasn't from IGV background. So that time, when I started term, right, my predecessor told me you guys can start thinking like what the activities PD can pitch in already. Yeah, but that time I was very blur. So it's like until April that time only we start having ideas like usually what are the things that should be done. But that's when the IGV team has already passed the audit. So if let's say you were to come up with a new PD deliverables, right, you need to plug in specifically to their scheduled days already fixed. Yeah, so if let's say you have ideas that what are the things that you wanted to do before they fix their schedule, it will be better. So it will not be overpacked. And then I think, yeah, the price thing is also mentioned. And then also, yeah, I think one huge mistake that I did is that I did not really track my team. I actually reminded them to update HubSpot, but I did not realize that we need to do it exactly at each stage. Yeah, so that was a thing that I learned from the experience as well. And last but not least is that I personally think that sometimes lacking on LinkedIn personal update might also resulted people to respond to you. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Chunhua and Julie, for the great sharing. Yeah, so moving on, right? So after understanding your past, right? So what is your next step? So the answer is very obvious. So it's plan for your future. Yeah, this is like a very lame joke. But okay, yeah. So now you have your one event or stuff already, right? And now I think you guys can come up with your own list, or I would say your own preparation list. Take it as a list. So what does my team need to prepare or do right now to have a more effective attraction? So for example, like group 4 mentioned, right? So alignment with project and partners, and then find out that during realization is too late. So might you need to do something beforehand or even right now or even during RE kind of preparation so that you can have a better attraction. And then here I also put in the order of preparation so that after you guys finish whatever written here, right, then you can organize on a better thought process and flow also. Of course, this thing, you just leave it to the last. No need to put this at the first. You just come up with all the things that you need to prepare or do first. Then after coming up, right, then you decide the order. Yeah, so this thing you can leave it to the last like that. No? Yeah, so now I'll bring everyone to the same groups and then remove the things at the same time. Yeah, so before I proceed forward, any questions for this? Yeah, I'll take it as a no. Okay, so I'll pause the recording. Okay.
I think I can share. I think Sabrina mic is cannot. They have mic problem, so I can share. So for group 2 is to understand the company's pain and gains before customizing deliverables instead of giving like the same deliverables for all of the company. Yeah, so like for example, if they don't prefer digital marketing and like one more talent engagement, then maybe we can more customizing on talent engagement and stuff like that. And then more detailed market research to find quality leads that suits the project. Yeah, to have a not really low conversion rate, and constant tracking and updating of HubSpot, and also have more synergy meeting at the early stage with PBox to understand about the project scale and plan ahead on like what exactly can we give to partners on the project itself also. And then generate leads that are potential, so like more prioritizing quality over the quantity, and also consistent posting on LinkedIn to show that we are part of a professional organization, and add connection of the PIC from the potential partner companies, and also a constant showcasing project on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's it for group 2.
Okay, thank you, Felicia. Okay, so I realized one thing, right, is a lot of things written here is more on the action during your attraction. But then, yeah, like for example, you generate leads, right? It's actually part of your attraction. You know, it's part of the market research. Yeah, but it's more on the action during attraction, but instead of the preparation instead. So I think a general rule of thumb to look into what you need to prepare, right? Can look into like, okay, so you are selling a product, right? So what is the understanding or customization alignment you need to have with your product, which is your IGV itself? So I think this is more on the things that you guys can look into in general. And then at the same time, so I saw like having synergy meetings at an early stage. Okay. Yeah. So having synergy meeting early is important, but then this statement, right, doesn't gives you a direction. So you have the synergy meeting early, but then what is the content of your synergy meeting that you need to have? And what is the specific content that you must have during right now before, I'll say, before you even submit audit or before you have your attraction during your attraction peak, all those, what are the things that need to have before now, like that. Yeah, so I think a few things that can add on is, wait, let me go through. Yeah, so like getting referral is also a good action, okay, but it's not more on the preparation. Okay, yeah, I think like things like, for example, market segmentation and also mapping out growth path, right? These would be things that are more related to the preparation and even the planning with on wholesaling with EWA also. Yeah, like HubSpot is during the action. Yeah, so minute taker, help me take note. Yeah, so so I think a few more things that I want to add on, right, is on regarding on this list that you guys can also look into the key activities alignment. Wait, let me see. Okay, yeah, your key activities alignment. Okay, here have, and then also your SWOT analysis. So one thing that you guys have is your growth path, right? To understand from IGV, but also have the SWOT analysis of each of your project also, and also have the SWOT analysis of your own project portfolio. Wait, right here. Hello. Okay, and then okay, yeah. And then moving on, then from there, right, you also need to have the sales strategy customization. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Junie. Yeah, what else? Let me see. Okay. Yeah, in generally, that's clear. Okay, but of course, don't just only look into the things I highlight. Yeah, so basically this whole thought process that I come up with you guys, right? So for now, most of us can't come up with the order of preparation, and it's okay. So you can go back to your LC and even have a session like this with your members, your team, like that, to actually come up with the list like that, so that your member also understand the thought process on what are the things they need to prepare together or together with your synergy partner. Yeah, so just take note on the things here. And then, okay, let's see. Yeah, so I think here, just want to like summarize this thing, right? Actually, the whole pre-attraction, right? The objective is for you to have a clarity for your attraction, and even the clarity till the end until you close yourself sales itself. Yeah, because right, this clarity at the start, when you are done properly, right, it will actually give you a clear direction and give you the confidence on doing your sales. Yeah, and I would say the direction is also very important, which some of you guys jump here already. Right? It's reading here. Okay. Yeah. So I think you guys also look at something like this before. So this graph is how to say, by having a proper direction, then you can use the least amount of effort to get the most amount of result. Yeah, like this. Yeah. So for all these things, do you guys have any questions on winter pre-attraction? I think I'll give everyone like 2 minutes to think first. Just this, we just finished the working.
I guess got question, Eugene. Since you mentioned usually October company will be running out of funds, right? So apparently my LC project will only end at the beginning of September. So yeah, I don't think probably sempat to do the SWOT analysis. So is there any way forward or maybe anything that you can suggest on situation like this?
Wait, I don't get the connection between the doing the SWOT with this one.
Because you mentioned you asked us to start attraction earlier. So and then you told us to start having SWOT analysis earlier so that your attraction can be more effective, right? That's the intention, right? The thing is, my LC realization project will only end at the end of August, so that probably it will also take some time for them to wrap up everything and also to have a SWOT analysis as well, probably 1 month plus. And then also you mentioned that usually company, when you approach them by the end of the year, they are already running out of funds for allocation. Yeah, so my question is, do you have any suggestion on this?
Okay, now I get, because the project and then you do the SWOT. Okay. I would say this is something that the approaching companies and the analysis, right? Even though your project haven't ended, by something that you can do hand in hand for now. Like your SWOT analysis can be on like even for now, what are the feedbacks that you have received already to understand clearer on the picture lor. Yeah, but I would say the thing you mentioned is, yeah, actually I didn't thought of it. So it's the project end timeline. Okay, yeah, but I would say the funding end is something that around November, December, of course, October might run out already. But then I would say this is also depending on different company timeline. But I would say some is like this. So I think here we can focus back on what we can do is also more on approaching earlier on this while doing the analysis halfway. Yeah, and if let's say SWOT cannot give you a clearer picture, then I would say using back the growth path that you guys mentioned, right, might give you a clearer picture because you also can look into what is the long-term direction you want the project to go.
All right, cool. Thanks, Eugene.
Okay. Thank you, Junie, for the very on-point question. Okay, I think any more questions? Hello, Janice. I didn't notice you came in. Okay, I think we are a bit overrun, not overrun 10 minutes. Okay lah, search. Okay, so that's all for winter pre-attraction. Yeah. So moving on would be more on your industry research. Yeah. So I believe you guys, like maybe some of the people in your LC, or maybe you yourself said this thing, you're very lacking of external understanding. So this is like one of the very common word that come up right in your mind or like I don't know in your chat like that. Yeah. So I think here I just want to ask everyone here is like what trend have you observed from this picture? You can type in the chat. Or you want to open mic also can.
Eugene, the trend observed is the trend of innovation, is it?
Yeah, I mean it's innovating, but what are the things you observe?
Wait, I don't get, Eugene, can you repeat your question?
So what trend have you observed from here? I mean, innovation can be part of it.
It's getting. Oh, sorry. Chunhua, you go first.
No. Okay, I understand. Junior, you can go.
I think generally for me, it seems that each wave has its own like the technology that they want. Yeah. And then things are also getting better and better every innovation.
Great. What else? Okay, technological revolution, every wave. Oh, great. I like your observation. Okay, yeah lah. So thankfully, it's basically on this, right? If you can see, every like what Junie mentioned just now. Shit, my brain. Okay, yeah. So like every I'll say like our industry are actually constantly changing lah. And if you notice, it's actually the time is getting shorter and shorter, which is faster and faster. And then yes, things are getting better and better, which also means in a sense that we are having more and more industries popping up. So you can think of, okay, for example, fintech didn't exist, right? Bitcoin didn't exist, right? Yeah, but I think Malaysia don't have Bitcoin company. But anyways, yeah. So actually our industries are actually constantly changing very fast. So that's why I think the point I want to bring out here is a lot of times we say that we lack the external understanding, right? And I would say it's a very, of course, it's not an excuse, but it's also a very normal thing because actually our industries is also constantly changing. And that's why every year or even every peak, right, we also need to do the research again and again so that we can better prepare ourselves for the changing industries. Yeah, and if you see from this picture here, right, you can notice that, okay, for now, the current trend globally is more on technology companies, and then are taking the top ones. Yeah, and you can see it's now technology is the main focus, like consumer electronics, and then more digital related stuff. For example, you can see here we have Alphabet from Google and then Facebook. Yeah, and of course, healthcare is also on the rise, especially under COVID, and energy is a very hot topic also. Yeah, so for here, coming back to Malaysia, right, the burning question is, like, what is our strength as Malaysia? And then also, what is the markets that are active in Malaysia? And also, what is the strength of our community? Yeah, so I have seen some of you guys now, you have changing your, I would say, your lead contacting direction. Like one thing I observed from Chun Hua is more on, he's contacting more on Sabah companies. Not to say previously he don't have, but I think now I observe more focus. Like maybe he have previously, but I don't know. Yeah, so it's more on especially your regional location around, like what are the companies that are around you, and then what are the strengths of them also. Yeah, and then moving on is also what are the industries in Malaysia is growing, and also what is Malaysia's recovery plan, even though the cases is still a lot. Yeah, and also what is the Malaysia's companies focus. So I think these are the things that we need to be aware about, the things that are happening around us, because definitely it affects us regardless of sales cash in timeline or what. It will also affect your project also. Like if you still remember last year, suddenly a COVID hit, then no more physical project. Yeah. So one of the reasons I want to bring up the topic about industry research, right, is also I realized one thing that is happening around in AM, right? Okay, I don't know other entities, and AM, right, is that we are actually randomly targeting industries. So for example, like while having conversation that, so is there any industry that we target? So some of you may answer is MNC or SME, but those are like the scale of the business, but it doesn't indicate the industry, like which industry or which work that they are doing. Yeah, so here I sort of in a way make a meme that, a summary of us when we randomly target industries, right? So here's how we look like. So it's like here we want to, push a proposal to someone, but then that person is like, trying to, don't shove that thing down my throat. Yeah, so for example, right, I think some of you may know already, is for pharmaceutical industry, right? Actually, for them, they don't actually give much donation or direct sponsorship. If they are going to do CSR, right, most likely they are like giving the healthcare items or the products, because actually in that industry, right, they are trying to avoid the bribery thing, because there are money laundry and then there are laws enforced on it. And then for the law industry, it's actually similar also, that they are trying to follow their regulations in a sense that for law firms, right, they are not allowed to do much advertising. It's very highly regulated and it's very easy to, touch the gray area, not say gray area, like touch the law, like that. Yeah, so I think this was like from, when Rujun was doing EST, right? Then she approached a law firm. Then that firm was like interested to work with us, but then they couldn't give us money in the end. Yeah, because if we try to do branding, those stuff to put their logo, right, then it's actually against their rules. Yeah, maybe that's why Thomas Phillips don't sign. Yeah, that could be the exact reason. Yeah, and even when you go into specific, like when you are approaching companies, food-related companies with COP, right? I think some of you also notice the trend is that, okay, I approach them to secure sponsorship, but then they give me food instead. So it will feel a bit awkward. It's like, okay, I'm trying to get fun, but then they give me food, which can help, but it's not the direct thing I want. So that's why understanding your industry is very important. And so targeting the industry that's suitable for you. Yeah. So of course, here I wouldn't say there's any exact answer on which industry is right or wrong, but generally the guidelines will be here mainly on the industries that are growing like that. Yeah. And here, that's why today we are introducing this industry research tool. So it was created by, Jia Yi here, our MCVP MPD, that she's ending term soon, but she still created this tool for us. And then I don't know if some of you are from EWA or not. I think probably not. Actually, this thing was being downscaled to EWA yesterday, but then it's more like they were doing their commission closing, so it's mentioned a bit only. So today here, right, you can just click here and go into the folder, and then you would see this tool. So duplicate your own LC one. So basically, what we came up with when I discussed with Min Yi, which is your new NCVP EWA, Min Yi, and marketing. Yeah. Then we agreed to have a PDiGV and EWA to do it together, because in a sense that actually PDiGV and EWA, the nature and the target audience is quite similar. And then at the same time, while doing this industry research, right, you also need to do interviews. So later I'll explain more. So you also need volume. So having 2 of your departments or 2 teams to actually run this together, this research to understand more would be better also. Yeah. So to talk about this tool, right? So you can click yourself by yourself. Yeah. Is this research done referring OGV research? Oh, no. Huh? Already. No. This is not OGV research. This industry research is your sales, yeah, your B2B research. Okay. Yeah. So to let you guys know, right? Basically this tool, okay, the objective is for you to define your sales direction clearly, like just now I mentioned, to target the, oh, yes. Okay. So when I first saw this tool, right, it's actually the same thought process as OGV. In fact, that's the same thing. Yeah, this thing. So if you came from OGV, you know this. So when I first saw this from Jia Yi, I was also a bit shocked. Actually, it's the same one. I mean, okay, not exactly the same, but the thought process and flow is the same. Yeah. To understand this, right, is to define your sales direction, like I mentioned, and also improve your effectiveness on your sales market tapping. So, when you talk to that industry. So when you are approaching your new leads, right, don't only talk to them whether they want to sponsor you or not. Also understand like normally how they do CSR and then how much did they sponsor in the past, okay? And then understand your current market and align your deliverables with your market needs. And then also understand the market saturation and pick your battles. Choose the area that you are not going to play with. So for example, the law firms, the pharmaceutical probably wouldn't be your target area. Yeah. So how do you actually do this tool, right? Yeah, so I think this would be an easy job for Junyi because it's OGV. Yeah, I actually tell you guys a little thing. When I was OGV, I didn't do this thing. Okay, but anyways, that's another story. Okay, yeah. So the first thing is definitely to come up with your buyer persona and also do your persona interview. Yeah. And then second thing is also identifying your market size. So this market size will be a bit different because this is more like your goal. It's not the school market size. Okay, if some of you are from OGV. And then also understanding your current existing partnerships or any university relations that can support you. So I think this IR is the OGV thing, but you can put in. So for EWA context, it's more on the international youth event, that thing. Yeah. So this thing is do together with EWA, PDiGV and EWA. And then lastly, you plug and play. So in this tool. And then at the end, you'll come up with your own product packaging. So when you are doing your sales proposal, your product packaging, aligning key activities, right? Don't just simply do because, some of the partners tell you this or some LCs are doing it. I really do the proper research to actually understand what is the context and find the trend inside, okay? So down here, then you can read here one by yourself. And this tool, you just do it together with your EWA team, okay? So I explain the first one. So persona interview. Yeah, so basically here is for, okay, so technically this thing, right, we categorize into new partners, new leads, and your existing or past partners, okay? So for this one, right, so again, remember just now, Junyi asked the question on SWOT analysis, and then I mentioned about doing it together, right? So when you are doing this persona interview and research, you can do it together with your cold contacting already, your cold call, your LinkedIn messaging, like straight away ask your partners on this. And in fact, actually, these questions are the questions that Jia Yi, our MCVP and PD, what she asked during the first meeting, like that. Yeah, so after you introduce your project, or even before you introduce your project, you can straight away ask these things and even have ice breaking like that. Yeah, so again, I emphasize that is you do your lead generation, then you can straight away do this research and interview already. So if you really tell me you don't have any past partners, or even EWA also don't have, at least this one you should have. Okay, yeah, because it's a new leads. Yeah, that you can ask them about certain ice-breaking stuff and then understanding their pain first. So normally you also want to understand what you can customize according to your partner. Then you ask with them, have the conversation on their gains, and then also understand the partner's behavior or the partners, the industry's past information like that. Like how do they get to know about Isaac, and then how much do they normally sponsor in the past, like that. Okay, so the questions you can read by yourself and also customize. Yeah, but try to follow this to get the pain and gain there. Okay, then for your already partner or your past partners, or maybe some of your EWA partner, right? You guys doing together. Okay, so the thought process and the flow would be the opposite. So it's talking about your gains first. So like, why did you partner with us? And then what do you get during you partner with us? And then is there any feedback that you want to give us, like that? Yeah, and also understand what could be their focus on, so that from here, then you can look into the direction on how you want to re-raise your partner. Okay, so going back to the pre-attraction, right, is re-raising partner is also very important. I think Junie mentioned, yeah, because they already, it's either they rejected you before and then you re-raise, or they already partner with you, then you re-raise, but both has a higher chance also. And you can actually have your re-raise meeting and ask these questions also lah. Yeah, and then after you've done all your research here, right? By the way, to let you know on the number, right? So getting at least 30 results is more accurate lah. Of course, I know some of you couldn't get 30, maybe. Hopefully you can get 30. But try to get as much as possible, because when your sample size is big enough, then you can get the more accurate context like that. Yeah. Moving on is after you have your interview, right? Then you can come up with your buyer persona. So here already have an example already. Yeah. So even for here, right, you also need to understand their age range, or like I was saying, what is their current role like that. Because you need to understand normally, okay, in this industry, what are the people that I normally need to talk to like that. Yeah. So for here, right, so I know just now group 3 maybe discussed too detailed. So to emphasize on this buyer persona, right, you don't need to be super detailed or super accurate, but this is more like a guideline for you to get your direction. Okay. Yeah. Then you come up with a buyer persona. You just imagine, okay, I'm talking to someone, and then this someone, what might this person look like that? You know, what are the things that they want or they don't want like that? Yeah, like that. Okay. After coming up with the buyer persona, then you come up with, I would say this is more like your goal setting. Yeah. So again, all the things are interconnected, that when you are setting here, right, you can actually align together with your FL goal or your, I'll say, your own project or sales goal also. Yeah. But then this one doesn't need to be as accurate. And then in case you don't know how the number works, right, because I didn't know at first, then I asked Jia, then he draw this funny thing to me. Okay. Yeah. But basically it's more on a backward planning. Yeah. So to clarify, right, the total company is like the total company number that you aim to approach. And then this is more like normally how many events that they engage on CSR project. So this is a projection assumption that the company would engage in. And then this on how many companies you want to target in this specific industry. Okay, so it's not how many companies are exactly in this industry, it's how many you want to target. And then the number actually goes in the end. So like when you're setting your goal, like maybe you allocate, okay, 10K like that, and then you want to close 2 MOUs. Then from here, that's the backward planning. So it's going here, okay, 40%, then it's 5, 8, and then you have the 40 here. Okay, so here's how you come up with your market size to project, okay, average or agak-agak, like how many companies I need to contact like that, which is again related to your goal setting. And then here is your existing partnership. So whatever that you interview, then you can straight away write here. And the purpose of this tab is actually for you to identify the trend, even including EWA one. So from here, when you put down the information, put, then you can see, okay, what are the trends that are happening here? Or maybe for some of the existing partner that can support you, maybe you are like that, then what are the things that you can put together? Then afterwards, then you can plug and play. Yeah. And then this pricing strategy, it applies to both PDiGV and EWA, but GG is 10:30, okay. Yeah, I would say this thing, I already put it in audit already. So this thing, you can do it in your audit because you guys also done your cost structure in the previous summer preparation audit. Yeah, so this is more like you want to play around, then you play around, but it's not like needed to fill in, because this is at the end, the product packaging part. I also put it in audit already. Yeah, so coming back, right? So for this tool, you can just, fill inside and then duplicate your own LC1 and do together with your EWA, okay? So for you to have a clearer picture on the timeline, right? So basically now you are either in SemBreak or in your project realization, and then you have MyODS. Yeah. So the industry research we are projecting for you to do it for average, like not average, around 1 month for you to do it very clearly, and doing it together with your audit, so that during your audit, right, you also need to align the key activities with your IGV and put in the schedule, all those, right? Yeah. So we are doing it together with the audit, so you can do it hand in hand together. And then the industry research tool is today downscale. Yeah, and then also for you guys to understand pre-attraction. Yeah, and then next week we will have a consultancy space. Yeah, and then during week 2, then we will have a working space. And then week 3 onwards would be your LC replanning, right? So we are projecting that you guys will finish your complete your LC replanning here. Oh, and then I kind of leaked, so audit is having an early bird submission, but we'll talk about it on Friday. Okay, don't ask me now. Yeah. So here is again the timeline, but written in a different way. So commission meeting announcement, and then the research tool. So I would send a poster tomorrow. Okay. Already downscale to EVA yesterday, and you can start to talk to your EVA people. Yeah. MRDS working space, and then finish the industry research. Then when you go into your LC planning, you can have a clear direction on which industry to tackle. Okay. So the call to action would be the previous 4 tabs, which is your persona interview, come up with the buyer persona, market size, existing partnership. Then we would plug and play during my ODS. Yeah. So to summarize, right, I would say all your things are actually interconnected. And basically you guys are smart, right? And you can straight away play smart to actually connect it together. Like some of the things in your industry research, right, you can copy, paste, and put it in your audit like that. Need a bit different. Yeah, but you already have the information. And then it's all connected like your pre-attraction, innovation, and product packaging and your goal setting. Yeah. So this tool is a new tool. So I assume you guys have questions. So any questions?
Eugene, can you explain again the market size one? The
Okay.
one about the market size. That one is the one. Actually, Crystal did show me this before. I think before this got, I think, I'm not sure how she got it, but it's like almost similar to this. But yeah, I'm still not clear about that one. Yeah, my predecessor got showed me before.
Okay, which part you don't understand?
The whole thing.
Oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So okay, I do example one time. So let's say I approach farm industry. Okay, then I approach engineering. Let's say I approach 2 industries. Yeah. So from here is okay. I want to have at the end a total sales one. Okay, 2 companies. Okay, total sales one of 10K. Okay, let's say engineering I aim for 6,000. Then farming industry 4,000. Okay, and here they would come up with the number already. Yeah. So from here, okay, let's say my conversion rate. So you need to look back at your conversion rate. So if let's say every lead converted to meeting means that okay, I push 10 leads, then I convert to 6 meetings like that. Then okay, then the meeting convert to sales one, then it's like every 10 meeting I convert to 40. Okay. The number a bit, okay, can I say this? Okay, this number is not that ideal. If let's say meeting to sales one, okay, I put a 20%. Okay, so it's 2 divided by 0.2. Okay. Yeah. So from here, I know I need to have 10 meetings. Okay. And then here, let's say my conversion rate is 50%. So it's 10. Okay, if you're not good at math, then maybe a bit hard. Okay, it's 20. Okay. Yeah, so need to have 20 leads. Okay, and then these 20 leads, and I convert. Okay, let me see back the conversion. My maths was not good. I don't have the maths.
Same, Eugene, I feel you.
Wait. It's 40%. Okay, 20. Okay, and then from here, okay, so okay, let me figure. GG is 让下水. Okay, this 40. Got contact 40.
Oh, is it like the 8/40 and the 5/8? That one is conversion, is it?
Yes, yes.
Just now.
I forgot how Jai explained to me how it convert. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Understand.
Okay, later I will send in the group to ask again. Yeah. But then for here, the industry here, you guys are clear, right? Just the calculation, you guys not clear. Hello. Hello, Alicia. Did I answer your question? I make you more confused.
Kind of. So basically, okay, like by first, like, state how many companies first that you want to get at the end, and then like kind of like backward planning, then only start like from the beginning, is it? Like the total company and then blah, 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 all that.
Then you plan
okay.
how many you want to target for each industry.
Okay. So it's like kind of like expected, right? So like I think the one that's now the 8 and 5 also is like expected, kind of like potential expected kind of thing.
Yes. Wait. Okay.
8 and 5, yeah.
I think this, I get back to you guys afterwards. Okay, own conversion rate. Yeah, it's taken from OGV.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I think I understand. Yeah, I think I understand.
Okay. Any more questions on
Thanks.
what you don't understand?
Do we need to target specifically 5 industries? Or it's up to us?
Yes, it's up to you. No. In Chinese language, is it?
Hello? I'm lagging. Hello?
Yes,
Sorry.
can hear you.
Wait, what were you saying?
Yeah, it's up to
Yeah, I was
you
lagging.
here on how many industries you want to target.
I see. So there isn't a minimum industry that we need to target, is it? It's up to us as well. Like let's say we want to target like 2 to 3.
Can. But then I would say is if you do the research one, then it's very dangerous for you because you only understand one industry.
Okay, understand. Thank you.
Okay. I think my brain now can happen already. So it's more like you are doing the research, right? So you are projecting like maybe you come up with 40 leads, but then the quality ones is around 8 like that. From there, the conversion. Yeah, now I get. You guys get it? Yeah.
Yep, I get it. Yeah, I understand.
Because it's not necessarily all the companies you'll find is the quality one, the potential. So here, that's why here, how many should sign up? Oh my God, not sign up. Okay, respond. Okay, Chunhua, what's your question?
Oh, sorry. Okay. I want to ask. This one, this tool, right? The industry research tool, right? Can we just use that as our market research tool instead of the market research tool we have been using all the while?
But for your market,
two separate things.
I would say it's 2 things. Look back.
Chunhua, you mean the market research, the basic market research tool, is it?
Yeah.
Means you straight away bring your market research here.
Yeah, because this one is like a more detailed version of the basic market research tool, right?
Okay, I think that's a good suggestion. I'll look into how I can bring that thing here. Yeah. But then when you're doing it, then you need to be clear on which one is yours, which one is your Airwell one. Okay, Junie asked not right question, good question. You should achieve to Okay, I'm using call to action first. I know from the conversion, then move research. Okay, yeah. Okay, so any more questions, people?
I have a question. Is it in project basis or like it includes all of the projects?
All.
Like
You just
for
do
this. Okay, understand.
all.
So basically, I just merge all of the 30 research and then can actually conclude it in this tab itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, understand.
You just put all your projects inside. Yeah, but 30 is just a guideline number. Because at the end, right, during my ideas working space, we would do into the plug and play, and then look into like which project into which industry like that. So you can just put all
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, taking into consideration Natalie and Junyi's feedback, right, then might not put this as the official market research. Okay, I'll look into it first. Yes.
No,
So I
no, no,
think
no, no. I'm just saying that because I don't want to fill in too I don't want to fill in the basic market research and then I want to fill in this one again because I think it's very redundant. So so I'm thinking whether I can just choose one because I'm sure my team also won't want to do two because you need to fill. See also very sian.
I feel you, I feel you. You see, Junyi used my karma against me already. Okay, okay. Hey, thanks everyone for asking your questions. It's very good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so announcement. Okay, my ODS, hello people. So we are partnering with Monster again. So Monster is a very amazing company. Yeah, so you can look into this link on this Build Your Elements series. And remember to register, okay? The final registration is coming in 2 to 3 days. So you better register or else, right, we won't be doing the plug and play, okay? Yeah, and then moving on is the Leadership Academy. So we have been posting, and yeah, so basically this Leadership Academy, to keep it short, is mainly, I would perceive it as an opportunity for your friends outside of Isaac to actually learn more about what you have learned here. And we actually invite our alumni or even regional directors, to actually deliver this idea. Yeah, and then here is mainly on the why. So mainly again, it's going back to our call to develop youth leaders. Yeah, and then mainly it's also on, developing the skills that they might need for future. Yeah, so here is the timeline, the attraction, the registration, and then the academy would be at the end of August. And then here is each of the topics. So we actually have 6 sessions. Then here's the time also. Yeah, so remember to share this post from Isaac Malaysia fan page, okay? Both on Facebook and IG, and then, invite your friends to actually register now, okay? Yeah, and then here is our partner standard in case you forgot, and then the B2B posting form. Yeah, so sorry for the call me delaying 12 minutes. Yeah, so let's have the feedback. Then I'll play some music. Yes. DHL. In fact, DHL I think is coming to conference also. Yeah, DHL is coming to conference also. Yes. Hey, I tell you guys yes, my ODS conference. So it's okay. So remember previously I was getting feedback from everyone on HubSpot, right? And then we are clashing this and that on snatching HubSpot leads, and then we have more teams doing sales. So okay, that's a bad thing, but on the other side, right, it's actually an indicator that Isaac in Malaysia, our sales is growing. In fact, I can proudly tell you guys, right, everyone here, your competency is way much better than last time and the last term sales team also. Yeah, our sales has been growing a lot actually. So that's why actually this my ODS conference, right, we managed to secure very great and big partners for our conference.
So far now only saw 2, right? Sunquick and Homestar.
No, that one is my LDS OC partner. But the partner I'm referring to is the conference session partner during the partnership day.
You mean they come in and give talk one, is it?
Yeah. Like previously it's Proton, PwC. This time we have Maybank, DHL.
Go give money one, they do this.
Yeah, they pay us on.
Usually how much they will pay for initiative like this?
Wow, this one depends on. Wait, let me stop the recording first. Already end. Later, like last time, the bad food.